Welcome to the podcast. I'm Ben.
I'm Mae.
And I'm Max, and we were had.
Can you believe it?
There are twists and there are turns.
Defleshed is a standard death.
Oh, that's fun.
We were had.
We were.
This week on the podcast, a classic Italian mystery.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Aliens in Italy
Oh, that's
all
fun.
right.
over a soccer match.
I
Too
think
on
you
the
need to
nose, I
explain.
think.
Yeah.
You mean football?
Yeah, sorry, it is football, and I will be considered. But first things first, I have to tell you, and the fans will like this, I stayed in Newport at the same house that three of us stayed at in Newport, Rhode Island.
Right.
Of the Newport variety.
Yes.
This weekend, I stayed there. I'm just on a loop. But remember how last time I had the terrible, famously the nightmare where I was like,
Yes.
ooh.
Oh, I remember.
I remember. Yeah. I do remember that.
That's hard to
because
forget.
I couldn't sleep.
Well, I stayed an extra day with my friend Casey, and the next morning she woke up and she goes, "Are you okay?"
No way.
I heard you yelling, "Ooh, ooh," all night long.
Maybe there's a ghost that's fucking
There's
you every
something.
time.
There's a demonic entity.
Oh, maybe
And
you're
that-
just a little
Bitch boy,
though.
bitch boy. Yeah. Well, the other, we had been there for 2 nights beforehand, and that didn't happen. Then I was in the same bed as before.
Interesting.
I didn't even remember a nightmare this time, but apparently. And by the way, she said it was so scary. I could have sworn like you were under attack. And I was like, "Did you come check?"
By an old woman?
She did not check.
But the question
She
is,
didn't check- she didn't check on me.
For the time when you were with me and May, you remembered the dream.
I remember it was we all remember it stared into my brain. The old couple
But
that
what about this
ragdolled
time?
me.
But what about this time?
This time I have no recollection. I actually slept like a baby. I woke up the next morning and go, "Ooh."
It was the same sound, but just in a positive way.
Happy, ooh.
They were happy hoots.
Yeah. I go, "Help!" You know what I mean? Like in a happy way. I thought you might find that interesting because even without you,
That could be an episode on its own.
nightmares.
No,
Your nightmare.
Newport
Yeah.
nightmares.
Yeah.
That's an episode.
Is that house haunted?
There is that little room with the blankets in it in the corner, that little kind of triangle-shaped room that I've never trusted. Every time I walk by it, you know, in the Paranormal Activity movies, Toby, she talks to Toby in the closet.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, Toby's in there.
Triangle-shaped room right off the bat.
I mean, it's terrible.
That's not
What's
what
the point of
it's-
the room?
Yeah.
Yeah, what is the point of the room? Extra storage?
Ghosts. It's for ghosts. It's a
gotta keep the
ghost room.
ghosts.
To hide bodies?
Yeah.
A lot of things.
Okay. Back to the main part of the story. All right, let's go to Italy for a spicy mystery.
All right,
Were you
let's do
expecting a
it.
reaction? That was great. That was.
Let's keep it moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took Italian for 4 years. Could you tell?
That was pretty good. Yeah.
Can you speak Italian?
Not even a
No,
look
but
of
the
it.
people on video will
Yeah.
really appreciate it.
Well, they got this.
Yeah, you got that
I
going.
do this like the queens. But no, I took it for 4 years, and then I cheated on the entrance exam for college, so I placed out of it.
How'd
But,
you cheat?
Nice.
They let me take it in the library by myself.
Oh.
With
Oh,
no
yeah.
supervision. How'd you cheat? I had 2 screens, and I was like, Google Translate.
I thought you had like a little Italian boy
up.
next to you.
No, yeah, I brought in Paolo.
It's grazie.
No,
You really just had...
I got 100% on the test.
That's
They
insane.
go, congratulations, you got 100. I go, no way.
What?
I go, 100%.
Oh, you went 100? You didn't even like miss
No.
one on purpose?
Well, at that point, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
you
used
gotta
to
miss one on purpose.
That's what I did.
No,
I
I
used to
wanted
miss ones on
I wanted
purpose.
to never take a language again because my family for 4 years they made fun of my pronunciation because
Yeah.
freshman year I came home and I'd be like, listen to this new phrase I learned, and I'd be like, come tiki ami, and they'd be like, what the fuck are you saying?
Abbondanza.
Chicken parmesan.
You took the same class.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so we're in Italy. It's 1954. I'm going to read it. I'm going to read this. A lot of this is from a BBC article. Mm-hmm. So you know it's good. The Brits are always telling the truth. And then it's also a couple of other.
I don't know what that dig was. Yeah.
It wasn't even a dig. I genuinely believe that.
Okay.
BBC is quality, I think, right?
I think so.
I don't know. Who knows?
BBC
Nothing's quality in the
Well-
the MSM,
What's that?
mainstream media.
Oh. They should have been LSM, mainstream media.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Stadio Artemi Franchi, see how I pronounce, has played host to a series of memorable moments in its 89-year history, including a World Cup quarterfinal in 1934, the Spaghetti Bowl during World War II. That's ridiculous.
Hey,
That's
come on.
cute.
And a David Bowie concert in the late 80s. Hey, Bowie.
There you
but
go.
nothing will rival the mysterious events which took place on 27th of October, 1954. It was October 27th, 1954. I love when you can tell I copied and pasted from two different articles.
No. You filled in the day.
Just once more. October 27th, 1954, a typically crisp autumn day in Tuscany. The mighty Fiorentina club was playing against its local rival, Pistoiese. 10,000 fans were watching in the concrete bowl of the Stadio Artemi Franchi. But just after halftime, the stadium fell eerily silent. Then a roar went up from the crowd. The spectators were no longer watching the match.
That's an English word.
I don't know. The spectators were no longer watching the match, but were looking up at the sky, fingers pointing. The players stopped playing. The ball rolled to a standstill. One of the footballers on the pitch was Enrico Magnini. He was something of a legend at the club and had played for Italy at the 1954 World Cup. You remember. I remember everything from A to Z. He says it was something that looked like an egg that was moving slowly. Everyone was looking up, and also there was some glitter coming down from the sky. Silver glitter. We were astonished. We had never seen anything like it before. We were absolutely shocked.
They were had.
They were out.
Oh,
Play
what
was
did
suspended
Did they
because-
like feel the fucking sparkles?
We're going to get into that.
Okay, sorry.
I'm going to need you to shut the fuck up.
Sorry.
So,
I'm obviously going to cover whether they felt
they didn't touch the sparkles, man. Good question.
Did they use them as eyeshadow or what?
We'll get into it. They all had euphoria makeup at the end.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Play was suspended because spectators saw something in the sky, according to the referee's match report. So this is crazy. I mean, this is 10,000 fuckers looking at it. I wanted to do something. I take a step back. Can you tell that was from me, not from the article?
That was good. Yeah.
I wanted to do a thing where it was like, how can this many people be lying about the same thing?
Got it.
Right.
Which is wild because our second most watched episode ever is the aliens in Zimbabwe.
Those kids were fucking lying.
Those
Sack of shit.
It just
We put that story on the map.
Say that
we
they're
did.
black.
We invented. Actually, a lot of them were white too. It was like a mixture. It was
Now
a
you can
mix
say
of
it.
culture.
Actually,
Now you
yeah.
can say it.
Yeah, now it's legal to criticize the children. They're white. But I will say a lot of angry comments in that section were like, "What are you saying? A bunch of kids were lying?"
Yes.
Yeah, like it's not possible.
Right. Kids
bunch
lie
of-
all the fucking
I lied
time.
all the time. Do you know
People
how often?
lie. Oh, yeah, but kids especially.
Do you know how
lie.
often
Right.
I would lie about being asleep as a child? I don't know why I did
Yeah.
it. I was just like, I would fake being asleep constantly.
Remember, I feel like kids would always.
It is. It was
Kids-
hilarious.
Kids would lie about getting headaches. Remember that in class?
I
oh,
also
I have
did
a
that.
headache.
Stomach aches for sure.
Yeah.
I did that.
Get a
Tummy
little
aches.
ginger ale, go to the
What did
nurse.
you lie about?
Oh, that I was nauseous. I was like, I'm
Yeah.
going to throw up. I think
Yeah.
I'm going to throw up. And then I'd be like, and I'd go to the bathroom and then come back. And I would like put like water on like my shirt. Be like, I threw up a little bit. I think I threw up. Yeah.
Oh, you really
The
committed.
water on the shirt. You
Yeah,
wanted them to think it was a little
I
throw
had
up.
to like wipe the throw up off my face and water got on me. I just
To
made
get
myself
out of
look like a
school?
mess. Yeah. Also,
To try
this
to be
kid Paul
cool or
Zelinsky
what?
would eat yogurt and it would make me throw up all the time. So
Oh,
that
you were
was
actually
also
throwing up.
Well, sometimes I would, but just by watching Paul Zelinsky, not because I was sick, because he would just put too much yogurt in his mouth. And it
You
would
keep saying Paul Zelinsky that we went to school with you. You
He
know,
had
you
a
remember
twin.
Paul
I didn't like them. Elizabeth and Paul Zelinsky, two Polish twin freaks, eating
Well,
yogurt.
that's too racist.
Nah, they're white. It's just prejudice. There's a difference.
That is how it
That
works.
happens all the time on TikTok where it's like, you can't be racist against white people because you can't be racist against the oppressor. And then another black person will stitch that video and be like, what are you saying? And then another person will stitch that and be like, what?
Yeah. I've seen this.
Everyone's arguing about everything all the time,
Right.
always, and I want to go to bed.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
But I keep watching.
And then I make a reaction video, and it's like one thing leads to another.
And then all of a sudden I'm coming. Back to the aliens, because I wanted to do another story like that. So anyway,
Cool.
Let's talk about the witnesses in the crowd. Remember? That started with the Zimbabwe thing. But back to Italy. Among the crowd was Gigi Boni, a lifelong Fiorentina fan. Here's a quote. I remember clearly seeing this incredible sight. He says his description of multiple objects differs slightly from Magnini's. They were moving very fast and then they just stopped. It all lasted a couple of minutes. I would like to describe them as being like Cuban cigars. They just reminded me of Cuban cigars in the way they looked, like Cuban cigars.
So there's multiple of them, multiple eggs.
Yeah. So this is actually
How does
interesting.
an egg look like a Cuban cigar?
Yeah, I mean, if you smoke it down a little bit and kind of mush it,
No.
right?
Right off the bat,
Smoked
this
ones
guy's
like that.
You ever smoked the egg ones?
I do like specifying the type of cigar. That really feels like
Cuban
a
cigar.
very
Well, like
necessary detail.
those old.
Yeah.
You ever see those old cigars where they're like pointed at either
I actually
tip
do
on
know
either
what
end?
you're
saying.
So it's that kind of like a UFO kind
So
of a
it
shape.
could be somewhere in the midst of the two, like where it's like the long like cigar that is like the you know.
Right.
reminds
We don't
me of
have eggs here.
The leader of the Monstars in Space Jam, he
Sure,
smokes those kinds
sure.
of. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
imagining these as.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
From one alien to another.
We're all on the same page.
So Boney has spent many years reliving that day in his mind. I think they were extraterrestrial. That's what I believe, and there's no other explanation I can give myself. I love when you're like, I know the facts, and you can fuck yourself if you think it's different.
Yeah.
That's everyone that subscribes to this
And
podcast.
there's obviously no photos of it or anything like that.
Actually, there aren't. There are.
It wasn't televised, right? 54.
No,
small
but I
game.
do have like there's like a magazine like description, and we'll have our producer bitch boy Chris put this on the screen in
Okay, well.
post.
I mean, it looks
That
like
looks like
they're
a meteor.
singing or some shit.
Yeah, then there's like this
That's
other
very
one.
Italian. They're just doing an opera.
This
right
one's a
in front
drawing. This one's a sketch.
I'm
of
sorry.
the-
What? All right. I don't want to give anything away.
But
What's
there's
going on
nobody
with
in
the
the
notes
stands.
here?
The calm, yeah, I'll get to that, and then this is actually it. That's good.
All right.
Fuck you guys for watching and listening at home. We're having a talk amongst ourselves. So another of the players, Romolo Tucci, still sprightly in his 70s when the interviewer spoke to him, agrees. He says, in those years, everybody was talking about aliens. Everybody was talking UFOs. And we had the experience. We saw them. We saw them directly. For real.
But it's probably because everyone was talking about them
Yeah.
that they thought they saw them, obviously.
So it's tough, yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like that right there. That sentence alone is like, well, can we believe anything you say? Because if,
All right,
if aliens
Romolo.
are on your mind, then you say aliens.
Yeah, it kind of
Alright.
hurts
What
the
are we
argument,
doing? It
doesn't
does hurt the
Yeah.
argument.
Yeah, it does.
I wish nobody was talking about aliens.
But
Right.
does he mean that the aliens were on their mind since they saw it, or does that mean like we were thinking about aliens for weeks and then one day we saw a UFO?
I think it was a hot new topic around them.
Yeah, when's like Roswell and that shit?
I don't know. I didn't
Similar-ish?
research Roswell, Ben. I did Italy.
Did we ever do Roswell? We didn't.
No.
No.
Yeah, anyway.
Have we
yeah.
ever done Area 51?
No.
Let's
Well, we
break
did
in.
Bob Lazar.
We
do a
did
podcast.
Lazar,
Yeah.
number one.
1947 was Roswell.
Oh, so that's a good amount before. All right, whatever.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, listen, it's all everyone
We love a Roswell.
That's good. Do that on stage. So the incident at the stadium cannot simply be interpreted as mass hysteria. There were numerous UFO sightings in many towns across Tuscany that day and over the days that followed. According to some eyewitnesses, accounts of a ray of white light was seen in the sky coming from Prato, north of Florence. So, I mean, that's tough. This is similar to the Zimbabwe thing where it's like it happened at the school and also all around the area. The days coming and after, there were also reports of a ship.
So
Oh, interesting.
I looked up Italian UFO sightings, and there's like almost a dozen of them. There was one in 1950, just 4 years before in Versailles, where this guy saw like beings and shit. So maybe that's
Yeah.
like word was spreading around, and everyone's like, "Did you hear it in Versailles?" You know,
Yeah,
like so then
alien.
they know, right?
The alien!
Yeah, the aliens.
You didn't need to cheat on that test. You're pretty good.
I speak it fluently. This was a big thing. Actually, there were a lot of like hot alien stories, like sexy alien
Really?
stories from Europe. Not actually sexual, but there's one in Belgium that I might cover at some point.
Oh, okay.
There's a few things. Around the world. Also in Brazil, there was a full-blown alien attack.
What?
Yeah, and the government has like thousands of pages of research on it. It was called Apparato. I don't know why it's Italian, but it was like it has like a name or something. I don't remember.
okay.
Listen, I don't.
Well, if
remember.
aliens come in and invade, people are definitely going to start fucking them, I think.
Oh, I mean, come on! It's the first
Hell
thing.
yeah.
People are already
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
pretending to be aliens.
Right.
You're saying the people initiated or the aliens initiated? Or it's
I think it's mutual.
Mutual.
Well, how come every time you bring up aliens, someone's always like, "What if they probe your ass?"
Yeah,
I love
that's
how
true.
someone's always like, "Wouldn't it be crazy if they stuck something up my ass?"
I feel like you're that guy.
Well, I also feel like
Yeah, the aliens come down, and I'm like, "Oh no!"
you just butts up in the
It
air.
would be a shame if a metal probe got in there.
Don't you want to like do research on us? Oh yeah, no. But first, why don't you
start with that hole and we'll go from there?
I also feel like every every situation where people are like, oh, I was taken by aliens and I was up into this thing and then I came back down to earth and my butthole and my scrotum really hurt. They must have taken samples. And it's like, I think you're suppressing something else. If
I
you're
can't
asking
believe
me.
if aliens flew here to diddle us, it's like, okay, what's going on?
Right.
Everybody's a pervert.
Yeah.
Even the aliens. I thought they were better than that. All right, so another man who relishes the chance to speak about that day of the aliens, remember, is Roberto Pinotti, the president of Italy's National UFO Center. This fucking guy. He has written many books about UFOs, and his home in the center of Florence. Please note, this is BBC. Center is spelled R-E at the end.
I could tell by the way you said it.
Thank you. Centre. The center of his home is stuffed full of alien memorabilia, posters of old Italian B-movies, framed newspaper articles, and black and white photographs of blurry flying saucers.
So this guy's just a fucking geek.
Yes, this guy's
Also
a real
love how the
nerd
journalist
virgin.
goes into people's describes people's homes.
Yeah, his house is really fucking weird.
His bathroom is this weird marble.
Yeah.
Quirky.
The guy uses
Takes
bar
risks.
soap still for some reason.
I use soap, bar soap.
Do you use bar soap?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You
I like
don't
it better.
use bar
You're
soap?
not a body wash guy?
I run out of body wash so quickly. If I have like a thing of body wash.
just fucking...
Just a commercial.
It's the scene in that.
I love Olay.
Actually, I do have a body wash that I like from Manscaped. Sponsor us. And
That you use on your dick?
that I use on my dick. But Mark doesn't trust it. He likes the soap.
He's a soap guy.
He's a soap
What kind?
guy.
Is it Irish Spring?
Dove.
Dove!
The fancy stuff.
You're using Manscaped body wash and he's using Dove.
Yeah.
That's a progressive fucking household.
And
Take notes, America!
He really lathers up too. He spends a long time.
Yeah,
soaping
that
with his
Dove
If you
Dove.
put a
soap.
lot of soap
Yeah.
on, I feel like you got to go bar soap over body wash because I run out of it very
What
quickly.
the fuck are you guys doing in the shower?
Getting clean.
Yo, I bet.
I don't even know what the implication is.
You know.
Using soap on my skin.
I know what you.
Oh, yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down. Careful, YouTube's going to take this down, guys. All right, so this is a Pinotti quote. Classic. Here we go. Pinotti quote. Play the sound. The players and the public were stunned seeing these objects above the stadium. At the time, the newspapers spoke of aliens from Mars. Of course, now we know that it is not so, but we may conclude that it was an intelligent phenomenon, technological phenomenon, and a phenomenon that cannot be linked with anything we know on Earth. Sometimes when you're translating, I feel like with people,
Yeah.
it doesn't have that same hit.
No. Yeah.
I bet that slapped in Italian.
It's probably beautiful. It's probably poetry.
Phenomena. He's also intrigued by the material that fell from the sky, what Magnini describes as silver glitter. We're getting
There we
back
go,
to that
here
All
we
glitter.
go.
right, back to glitter.
Basically, these fuckers were blasting big old loads of cum all over this field and all
All right.
over town. So that's why the next section is titled "The Cum."
Okay.
Here's a quote. It is a fact that at the same time the UFOs were seen all over Florence, there was a strange, sticky substance falling from above.
Sounds
Oh.
like cum.
Sounds like cum.
Yeah.
In English, we call this angel here. JK, in English, we call that big, huge loads of cum.
What color was it?
Cummy. It was like silver glitter.
Silver
Wow,
glitter.
what's coming out of here?
As long as you know me, you're not surprised I'm coming silver glitter?
So did they ever test this bullshit?
That's actually a really good question. You should run a true crime podcast. So here's some problems. They did test it, but there was a problem. So like the only problem is after a short period of time, it disintegrated, much like cum. As a 10-year-old boy,
Does cum disintegrate?
when you do it right, it does.
No, it doesn't. I often walk around with cum all over my stomach, so it stays there.
Nice, bro.
Nailed it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Wait, disintegrates how? Like immediately?
A short period of time. I didn't get the
Okay.
exact time on that.
Okay.
And then it gets hard when it stays on your clothes for too long.
I think
Yeah.
we're back on
We're
the
talking
alien
about
stuff.
cum.
Oh, totally.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Could you imagine? Just as,
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So this guy was 10 when he saw this, and he says, I remember in broad daylight seeing the roofs of the houses in Florence covered in this white substance for 1 hour, and like snow, it just evaporated. These aliens were coming off just jizzing over poor
That's
Italy.
a fun prank.
Yeah, that is a fun
actually
prank.
funny.
Yeah, that's a mamma mia, mamma mia, mamma mia.
Like your bit.
Like my bit.
Wait, why are the aliens Italian?
Well,
We
they
took
just
it
like
for 4 years.
I got really confused. That stopped me in my tracks. I go, why are the aliens Italian?
I'm poking holes.
Yeah.
Poking holes in your joke.
Stop worrying about poking holes and start worrying about plugging them.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So no one knows what this strange substance has to do with UFOs. It is a fact.
It is like completely not related at all.
some art teacher.
Everyone in Italy is a bit of a pervert. So actually, I wouldn't be surprised if that same day everyone just got really pumped.
They really are fucking pervs, dude. I hate
Yeah.
to say it, but that stereotype
You-
is dead on.
You can say it. Italians are dirty, loud perverts.
Ginzos.
Well, don't say that. Well, don't say that. I don't like that.
What? You can say that.
Wop.
I didn't even know that one.
Yeah, it's a
Ginzo.
fun one.
It's
Well,
Yeah, that is
Does it
fun.
have anything to do with Guinea?
oh,
Yeah, it's like a
Probably,
fun. It's like a fun way to say it.
Yeah. It's like not using the hard R.
Yeah.
Okay, so could it have come from a UFO is the question about this substance. It's an absolutely silly idea. Science totally rejects this idea, says U.S. Air Force pilot turned astronomer James McGaha. Typical
Right.
Americans
Yeah,
ruining
right.
everything for Europe. From the Grasslands Observatory in southeastern
we needed
Arizona.
to bring in an expert to say
Yeah.
that come from the
Yeah.
sky from aliens.
He
It's
goes, "Oh,
not.
that's right. He spent more than 40,000 hours staring at the night sky. Okay, fucking loser. Not to mention the additional hours he spent in the cockpit of U.S. fighter jets.
A weird thing to put on your resume.
Yeah, he goes, not to brag, but I've got a lot of free time in my hands.
I can't sleep. Yeah.
I have insomnia, so that makes me an expert.
I don't mean to make you feel bad, but my dark thoughts, they come at night. The only thing that helps.
The secret is no roof.
Okay, so he says, the whole UFO phenomenon is nothing but myth, magic, and superstition, wrapped up in this idea that somehow aliens are coming here either to save us or destroy us, he says, which is spoken like a true ignoramus because
Also-
there's a third option, they want to fuck us.
Also,
Or just chill.
yeah.
double meaning of coming in that sentence. That was fun.
Wow.
They're
You
just-
got so excited. I saw you shaking a little bit.
I was shaking, and then it was one of those.
You guys, there's
I
an
can't-
English thing
yeah.
happening. Hold on. Fuck, yeah. He doesn't care. You could cut off someone's arm, stick it up their ass, and find the body on the beach. Ben goes, double meaning of a word? He's like,
That's a pun!
hold on. Homonym!
I don't think you get it. There are two ways of saying come.
Oh. Okay, so did you remember this? I'm going to show you guys. Here's the cum, by the way. I don't know if this is actually a photograph.
Oh.
This article.
There is no way that that's not the journalist come.
Yeah.
It's 100%.
True.
Oh.
A little artifact here.
Yeah. He's British.
It's BBC, is it not?
That sounded Australian, though.
Yeah, listen, it's all the same thing.
Who wrote the article? Oh, we don't know. Just BBC.
I can tell you right now, I still have it open.
Queen.
The Queen.
The Queen.
Yeah. Queen Elizabeth. So this was written by Richard Padula.
Okay.
BBC World Service Sport.
Okay. Okay.
Richard Pitt.
I believe this was in the sports section because of the
Really?
football talk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Actually, another article.
Slow
that I-
news.
Yeah, it must
Yeah,
have been.
right? For
Another
real.
article I read was from, what was it? Grunge, obviously. And then thesefootballtimes.co.
Okay.
This was big in the sports community.
Yes.
That's what I was thinking when you started getting into how this took place over a soccer match, and like all these people were like, "Oh, look at the thing in the sky." There had to be like a couple of guys be like, "Who gives a fuck? Play the fucking game! Let's go! Play the soccer!" Like they're just like,
Why are
"Fuck
they
the
French
UFO!
now?"
I got money on this game." Basta fangole!
It's so funny because I went to bed last night. I knew I wanted to do an alien story today, and I obviously didn't decide until this morning. But I was watching Ancient Aliens. I'd never seen it before. and it was boring. You're better being here. But I was like going to bed and I was like, that's so crazy. And I was like, what if Italians ever saw an alien? And then I found it, man. That's fucking wild. It's crazy how history happens. So we might have an explanation for the cum. In Magaha's view, the whole spectacle, quote, angel here and all, was nothing more than migrating spiders.
No, ew.
So this is actually arguably way more terrifying than the concept of aliens. I would much rather aliens plugging my hole
Absolutely.
than a cylinder of spiders flying through the sky.
Every hole. At once.
So here he goes. He goes, when I looked at this case, every hole at one time.
I'm not kidding whatsoever.
I would poop my pants. Let me describe this to you because it gets even more scary. Okay. So he goes, when I looked at this case, originally I thought perhaps it was a fireball, a very bright meteor breaking up in the atmosphere. They can be cigar-shaped with pieces breaking off, but it became fairly apparent that this was actually caused by young spiders spinning webs, very, very thin webs. The spiders use these webs as sails, and they link together, and you get a big glob of this stuff in the sky, and the spiders ride on this to move betwixt locations. They just fly on the wind, and these things have been recorded at 14,000 feet above the ground. So when the sunlight glistens off this, you get all kinds of visual effects. Could you imagine?
No.
If you saw spiders just fucking like a sailboat on their own webs, like a straight line.
No, fuck that shit.
No.
Also, Italian spiders, I feel like they're big.
Yeah.
Big, creepy spiders.
And rapey.
Rapey.
Yeah.
Cat collie spiders.
Cat collie. Whoa, that's a nice touche.
Furry. Hairy.
Hairy.
So the Magaha, he was like, as some of this stuff breaks off and falls to the ground, this all seems magical, of course, but I'm fairly confident that's what happened that day. This theory is backed up.
Wait, this is the science guy?
That's the American science guy. We gave him a lot of play in this article.
Yeah.
So this theory is backed up by the fact that September and October are the months when spiders in the northern hemisphere migrate, and spectacular spider migrations still make headlines today, but it hasn't convinced everyone. I also feel like you're talking about 10,000 people there, all around town. They're all touching this cum substance. Wouldn't you? Someone would have realized it's a web.
Yeah, that's true.
And also, I feel like it would have been like, okay, spiders maybe. So this is Pinotti. Remember him? The old
Wouldn't
Italian?
they see a spider and be like, oh,
Yeah.
it's a fucking spider web.
Right. So, of course, I know about the migrating spiders hypothesis. It's pure nonsense. It's an old story and also a stupid story, says Pinotti.
All right, well, I like this guy.
He disputes the spider theory because of the chemical analysis of the angel hair samples. Spider silk is a protein, an organic compound containing nitrogen, calcium, hydrogen, oxygen, not the elements reportedly found in samples Bettini and others brought to the university. So, I missed that.
I didn't realize that they brought it to the university, so then that could be tested, obviously.
So
that's a big deal. So it's not the spider shit.
Yeah, so hold on.
Not conclusively.
Talk amongst yourselves. Oh, yeah. So they originally, this guy like desperately was, Giorgio Battini was trying to get it, like he was a journalist and he was trying to get it tested. So he like got a bunch of it. He was eventually able to like use like a matchstick and kind of roll up some of the cum onto that. So the lab did spectrographic analysis, included that it contained the elements boron, silicone, calcium, and magnesium, and that it was not radioactive. And those are not normal kind of things. So here's the conclusion. There are always two sides to a story, but those in attendance swear on their grave that this wasn't mass hysteria or migrating spiders. They are convinced they were visitors from outer space. 60 years on, the chances of determining the cause of the incident are slim. Quote, I wouldn't trust any reports of an old and strange event like this unless I'd seen the data, says science writer Philip Ball. He agrees that the elements said to have been observed in the angel here don't seem to tally with the spider theory. Magnesium and calcium are fairly common elements in living bodies. More boron and silicone, much less so. But if these were the main elements that the white fluff contained, it doesn't sound to me as though they'd come from spiders, he says. So it all remains a mystery. No matter what the scientists say, those who were there are convinced that what they saw was unlike anything on Earth. Romolo Tucci just feels lucky to have been there. His eyes dance excitedly as he remembers that curious day. Quote, I was spellbound, and I was also so happy.
All right, well, this guy's jizzing everywhere, that's for sure.
It was his jizz.
Yeah.
But why was he happy?
Because he's so into UFOs, that's why. So he's like, oh, this is exciting for me.
This is great. Okay.
I also...
Vafanculo, everybody else, that kind of thing.
Vafangul, everybody else. It was beautiful.
Thank you.
Not one Madon this episode.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
Marron.
I don't know. How would you react to seeing a UFO? I also feel like I wouldn't care at this point. I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, at this point, I'd be like, well,
If the
At
news...
this point, meaning because we've done so many podcasts about it.
Because
or
we've done
you
so
mean-
many podcasts, but also I think every day in the news, there's like, did you just see this? It was like
Well, I
yesterday.
wouldn't believe it. I mean, I wouldn't believe it because it's so
And because
saturated.
you're a
I mean,
bummer.
or I would believe it and
skeptic.
just be like, I don't care.
yeah.
They're like,
That's
oh,
a
there's
bigger
aliens above
bummer
New York.
than me.
There was just
Seeing a
something
UFO and not
yesterday or
caring?
2 days ago that was like, the Earth is spinning faster than it should be.
Really?
I was like, okay. Somebody tweeted, was like, somebody was like, what should we do? And somebody replied being like, go outside, dig some small holes, put your fingers in there, hold on.
That's funny.
It was funny.
Is it really how much faster? Like,
I don't know. Don't you feel?
whoa. I don't know. I'd want to see the actual beings, though. If I saw I mean, it'd be so
Sure.
cool to see the actual thing, the spacecraft, or whatever,
Yeah.
or whatever
Yeah,
it
of
comes
course.
down in.
It'd be fascinating.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Nice probe up the ass.
If I told you I saw a UFO, would you believe me?
No.
No,
No way.
unless you had photos of it.
If I told you guys, you would believe me because I'm
Yeah,
more
that's
skeptical.
true. I would believe you.
I would. I want to say no. I wanted to be
Yeah.
snarky, but I
Where
would
do you
believe-
think they would come? I feel like in the States, they'd probably want to check out New York now.
for the sites?
Yeah.
They-
Yeah, see the
heard
Freedom
about it.
Tower.
More people.
so many
yeah.
buildings to jizz on.
Yeah.
That's what, honestly, it's wild. The aliens, the concept of it is just, it's a little too much.
Well, it makes sense that they exist. It's like we are confident that they exist, but it's just like each individual story doesn't feel real.
To be fair, I would have argued that it would, before reading any of this, I would have argued it was much more likely that you see an alien spaceship than a giant cone of spiders sailboating across the side.
Well, that's what I like about mysteries like this. It's that like even if it's the like non-alien answer, it's still an insane thing to happen.
Yeah,
I
right.
hope to never see that. I
Yeah.
hope to never see that in my life.
Yeah, I love how the
spiders.
guy was like, it's obviously just migrating spiders. Don't you recall? Famously. Although, I mean, you
Spiders
can't...
need to stay put.
I normally would say that you can't tell 10,000 people that they're all lying, and then also the whole country, and then there were all the news articles the next day that, like, obviously it's 1950, whoopsie daisy. People, the word doesn't travel that fast, but the headlines in a lot of places anyway were all about, like, instances of
Right.
the angel here and also the ship being sighted and all those kinds of things. So it's tough to call him liar. On the other end, devil's advocate, it's a bunch of Italians. So,
Well, it's not liar. It's like not understanding what's going on.
right.
Yeah.
Right. And they're a little slower. Oh, that's fun. I'm Italian. I can say all this. This one, I was slurring.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
know what that was.
He's none of them.
Italian.
He was-
I'm
You're-
Italian.
Are you really?
Are you?
Yeah, maybe not as much as you. I took my 23andMe.
What'd
Did you get Italian?
Yeah, I got like 15% or something.
That's
like
pretty
that.
good.
That's a
Okay.
drop of marinade. That doesn't count.
What were you the majority?
Oh, like Irish and like UK.
Trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trash.
Trash.
Not Polish, though.
Port of good old London.
I can see that. Yeah. Have a point. Any closing thoughts here for you?
I don't know. I mean, the sciencey stuff made it seem like it wasn't the monkey spider web thing.
This guy, boy, he's
Yeah,
always
I'm
talking
a
about
little
monkeys.
Yeah,
And they're always
monkeys.
coming. Yeah.
Has monkeys been mentioned once this episode? No, it hasn't.
No, it's just a lot of your bits about
It's
monkeys.
just a lot of it.
Shoehorn it in.
Yeah, we get it. You know about monkeys.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's the spider thing, but I'm not like totally convinced it is.
I feel like if it was on everybody's roofs, wouldn't there be some spiders?
Right.
Or do you
People
think,
would be like, oh, there's a big influx of spiders at that
Yeah,
time.
wouldn't the whole town be talking about
holy
this?
shit,
Yeah.
there's spiders raining from the sky? I feel like that would be equally as newsworthy as aliens.
Yeah.
Right.
So if spiders were raining down on us,
Yuck.
I'd be pissed. I would I can't say it enough. How much rather I would be probed every which way from Sunday than a single spider
Oh, absolutely.
swinging through the sky. That's absurd. All right. Well, tell us in the comments why we're wrong. Subscribe.
Subscribe, like, and subscribe.
Give us 5 stars, man. Thanks. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.